And I like to use really sad little graphics. I've got pictures of computers here where you do lots of online searching, that sort of stuff. Then you go and find the stuff and you have a read of it, which is the picture of the books. And then, of course, you also need to bring in your own experience to this particular pre-course essay. And, of course, that equals at the end, hopefully, a typed-up response, which gets submitted through Milo. So they're the types of things, the components or parts that make up this particular assessment task. It's focused on discussing the difference between leadership and management. You need to reflect on your existing leadership experience, and it's totally fine if you haven't had a lot of this. You could also talk vicariously through other people that you've watched do leadership experience. So don't stress about that. Just ask my advice if you want some help with it. Identify and discuss 2 contemporary leadership theories or models. So there might be transformational leadership, transactional leadership, post-industrial leadership, all of these types of things. And that you believe have informed your past leadership practice and how they've informed your practice as a leadership in your organisation. You need to draw on research literature and set readings to inform your response. And you reference all of that using Harvard style, which I'll talk about in a tick as well. I like to give people structure because I really genuinely think it helps people think through the tasks that they need to do and make sure that it all fits in the boundaries of what is a fairly slim word limit. So you'll have an introduction, which is about 200 words, 1 paragraph, introduce your topic, and provide a roadmap for your reader. I'll go through that more in a moment when I give you an example. Then you need to compare and contrast leadership. Leadership and management. This is about 500 words. Read about this, get to know about these 2 concepts. How do they differ specifically? Once you understand that, you'll be able to write that section quite easily. Some people set it up so that they talk about the differences. So they say what leadership is, and then they say what management is, and then they talk a little bit about how they're specifically different. Or other people I've seen go through and actually analyse the ideas in the readings that they've got, and they find 2 or 3 major points about how they differ overall, which is another really good way of setting it up. After you've done that, and that should probably take about 500 words, you go into the discussion of your 2 theories, models of leadership, and make the reflective links to your practice. And this is where people often get tripped up, because you can structure it in a few different ways. So one person might describe the 2 theories first, then follow this with a section talking about how these link to their practice. Or another person might actually find the overall themes in the theories or models. So you might say, as a transformational leader, I try and do blah. This is demonstrated in an example of my practice in this way. So you outline the example a little bit and then you link that back with your, this clearly demonstrates what Smith talks about as a transformational leader in that they need to blah, 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 blah. You link it back to that literature. So you find those themes across both of the theories and models and talk about each theme in a paragraph and note how each theme then links to their practice in that paragraph. I hope that makes sense. I will give you some examples of that in a moment. Conclusion is very straightforward. You need to summarise your main points and what you've found overall. And of course, you need a list of references. Now, I like to use the Harvard style of referencing. It's quite simple. It is up there on the, not that way. It's backwards. It's up there. There's a link on the slides. I will have the slides on the Milo site for you that you can find that link on, and it will tell you how to do the referencing specifically. Please don't stress about this. I understand that a lot of you have probably not come across referencing before. If you have done it, it's like 20 years ago. Don't stress. I used to teach this massive online, writing research, academic research skills unit. I know everything there is to know about how to write well, how to reference, how to structure essays, how not to bore people to tears with them. If you have any questions at all, or you are totally freaking out about not having done writing for 20 years, just get in touch. I can provide you with as much information and support as you need.